Okay, fantastic. So once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this evening to the How to Become a Developer Marketing Manager presentation, webinar, as you can call it that. I would, I'm assuming I know that you can see my slide. So I'll project it more boldly for us to have a conversation. So this section is meant to last an hour or thereabouts, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Clearly, the objective of the webinar is to discuss about what is a development marketing manager, who is a development manager, how can you become a developer marketing manager, and at the end, a special offer for all of those who want to take the next step to become development marketing managers or DevMar managers, as they are called, DMMs. My name is Trust Oyokori, and I've been in tech space for over 6 years and 5 years for being a developer relations marketing manager. And BCAP essentially was founded to essentially help as many people as possible to get into the DevRel space, particularly focus on development marketing and other no-code areas as well. So this is a very exciting conversation because I'm going to say everything I know about the entire role and how you can get started, if this is the right role for you, where you are currently. I'm going to take some questions regarding how can you get started from where you are, either you're trying to transition into the space or you want to start a new career entirely as a development marketing manager. So the big question, and of course the obvious question, is what is or who is a developer marketing manager? If you search this on Google, you go online and you search this question, even ask ChatGPT the question, you're going to receive answers that are quite difficult to understand. There's so many grammar that we find around, especially about the process of combining adoption, advocacy, a whole lot of things going into there. And some also argue that this space, development marketing, is not a career on its own. And so there's so many controversial statements about what development marketing is. So we're going to discuss simply, we're going to have like a very simple definition of what development marketing is and what it looks like. First, this is like general definition. It tells you that development marketing, aka B2D or business to develop marketing, is a type of marketing that deals with software developer audiences. What does this mean? You know that in a proper marketing space, we have B2C, where you market to customers, right? So, for example, those who sell, for example, Kuda is a B2C company as business because they're marketing to customers. Now, B2D essentially means marketing to businesses. An example of businesses in B2B could be Brass, because Kuda is targeting bank accounts for individuals, customers. But Brass is targeting accounts for businesses, entrepreneurs, so B2B, B2C. So they're different. But now there's a new approach of marketing called B2D, which is marketing to developers. Developers are a different audience. They have their own products, they have their own tools, and so there has to be a different kind of marketing that talks to developers, hence B2D. So in summary, developer marketing is a combination of tactics, strategies designed to increase awareness, adoption, and advocacy of a developer product. An example of a developer product can companies you see on the screen all have developer services, developer products. Oracle has different developer products for developers. Zoom has an product for developers. Google has services, programs, events, conferences, resources for developers. IBM has one, Microsoft has one, Amazon has one, Apple has one. All of these are developer products. B2C and B2B may not work for this company to take the product idea or even the services developers. What they need and always hire is those who are in the B2D space. Now, for Nigeria, we have companies too who are doing the same thing. PiggyVest has a developer version where they market a product for PiggyVest developers. Flutterwave has a developer ecosystem. They have a developer service and developer products. So why they market to businesses to have business payment pages? They have a different segment where they target developers to use their APIs or to use the SDKs or to use whatever product they have for developers. Paystack, the same thing. CrowdWise, Abeg, all of these people have B2C services, but they also have B2D services where they need a developer business person, a developer marketing manager to take the product and services and market to developers. So there is a huge space and opportunity in this space. So many people want to go into low code, no code, and roles in tech that doesn't involve so much code, but many of them do not actually go for the places that are in demand and rare. So everyone is not going for design or those places, but the dev and dev marketing space is actually a very big tap market because developers are increasing. AI is coming as blockchain. There's so many things for them. They're trying to build too. So we need people who can take these products and go to developers that are ever increasing. And there's always a difference. People always ask this question, and you see the question a lot. The difference between developer relations, DevRel, and developer marketing, DevMar, is actually a big question. If you ask 10 people this question, what is different between DevMar and developer relations, you would receive 10 different answers because everyone, I don't call it a confusion, but then everyone has their own opinion to what they say around this. Only people who have really been in this space, who have experienced these two, who have worked and marketed real life products can really, really tell you what the difference actually is. I've created a table that highlights three things: the focus, activity, and goals of these two elements, DevRel and DevMar. The first is focus. Developer relation focuses on building long-term relationship, like the word says, relationship between developers and the products. Relationship, for example, Google has a GDG program where they try to develop relationship between developers and their tools. As a Firebase event, they do Firebase. The Flutterwave, they do Flutterwave conference, Flutterwave events. There is in Google I/O. All of these are an attempt or activities where they want to build a relationship with developers in Africa, outside Africa for a long time. So developer relations focus is on relationships with developers. How do we keep developers coming back? How do we keep developers liking our product and service? How do we keep developers in our ecosystem? That is the focus of DevRel. Now, developer marketing's focus is not relationships. The focus for developer marketing is how do we bring in more developers to know about the product? How do we bring in more developers to join the community? How do we bring in more developers for DevRel to build relationship for? Now, look at it this way. There is a house, and we need to pack this house with elements that somebody needs to manage. In this case, DevRel needs to manage the elements packed in the house. We need somebody who's going to pack the elements into the house. Now, in this case, that's developer marketing. Developer marketing focuses on activities, lead generation, traffic, in an attempt to pack developers into the community that developer relations is going to manage. So they work hand in hand. For me, the focus is the clearest difference between DevRel and DevMar. When it comes to the activities that differentiates between DevRel and developer marketing, activities may be interchangeable. For example, I can see on the screen, developer relations activity is education. They'll do workshops, they'll do videos, they'll support on Discord or any other channel for support, advocacy, do conferences, they'll hold hackathons, all of those things happening in developer relations. But developer marketing is the same thing, although we call it different things, but it's the same. For example, we have to do marketing campaigns. An example is if Google releases, let's say, Firebase 5.6, how do they do marketing campaigns? The first is educational content, documentation, tutorial articles. They have to write, do conferences, do RGDGs around the world to do Firebase festivals, to sponsor all of those things. is interchangeable. So a development marketing manager who wants to have a marketing campaign for developed products, wants to create awareness, will have to write articles for the products. We have to go to conference to talk about the products, have workshop about the products. It's called educational marketing. So the difference between B2C and B2D is that all of those tactics, you know how B2C people used to have these sales copies, grab your copy now, expires in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, all of those, it's called is it marketing urgency of sales? I can't remember. All of those things now work for developers. Developers do not really want all those long stories. They want educational content. They want you to help them to like your product. So in this activity of difference, DevRel is focused on educational support and advocacy. Development marketing is focused on marketing campaigns, social media, all of which also need educational content. So it is not out of place. We see development marketing managers and companies who write articles, technical writers, they go to conferences, the workshop, they travel, all in attempt to get attention of developers and bring them to the business, hand them over to developer relations people to manage and build, their friendship and relationship over time. The last is the goals. For those in DevRel, developer relations, the goal is to build trust, rapport with developers. Is relationships, trying to build relationship with developers. So you see people saying, I've built Firebase since 7 years, since 9 years. I've been a Flutter guy since they launched Flutter. That is the issue. That is the work of DevRel, to build relationship with developers so they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Why DevRel is focused on bringing developers inside the company, inside the product to increase awareness, adoption, and advocacy, and work hand in hand with developer relations people to build that relationship. In essence, their roles are interchangeable. Those who differentiate, who say DevRel and DevMar cannot match together, don't understand how it works. That is why I said you can read the books, to go to blogs, to give different things, but if you put them in practice, it's different in practice. In real life companies, marketing real life product with developers, DevRel needs DevMar and DevMar needs DevRel. My best combination is having a developer marketing department, adding DevRel inside it. Or better still, you can have a DevRel department and put dev marketing inside it. Anyone works, but you cannot separate the two because they always, in most cases, almost do the same thing, as we're going to see in the preceding parts of this webinar. Now, the thing is this, right? There is a huge focus for products coming from Europe and North America into Africa, even Asia too, coming to Africa, and they really want to engage developers. We see Amazon came in with the Amazon Builders community to imitate what GDG is doing with Google. And we saw Meta come with Meta Developer Circle. People are coming to Africa, right? And so we need people who are needed to drive these campaigns to developers, to engage them and make the money and the budget that these people are spending worth the engagement and similar things in that regard. So what skills does a developer marketing manager need? What skills does DevMar need? The first, you need to know how to write. Technical writing. Developers love to solve problems on their own. So they go to Medium, decide they have a bug, they go to Stack Overflow, they go to Medium, they go to Hashnote, they go to anywhere at all they can find answers to that question. So as a development marketing manager who wants to create awareness for your product, you have to write. Write and publish on Medium, write and publish on your company's blog page, write and publish on dev.to, write and publish anywhere that developers can find article, read, and get to know about your product. An example is this: if your company or your product is building a drag and drop tool for developers, saying developers no longer need to write APIs on their own, use our tool, drag and drop, and publish, and API is ready. That's what they mark developers. And they call you as a development marketing manager to create awareness for this product through technical writing. The first thing to do, of course, is research about what developers are facing with API. For example, your article could be how to build an API in 5 minutes, something like that. Because you see, developers can spend weeks, months building API, but your product your company is producing or developing for developers do not need you to spend 2 weeks or 1 week, 5 minutes tops. So your article could be how to launch an API in 5 minutes. You write it, you publish. So anybody looking to save time, API will always find your article, read it, and come to your company. You can measure conversions like that. So there are other kinds of things you can write, from documentation, tutorials, to guides, to any other thing you can write. But the first thing you need to know how to do as a development marketing manager is to write, because you don't know what things you're going to write. You're going to write for developer support, talk about that later, or you're writing for awareness or adoption, but you have to write. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to write. Now, the second is public speaking and presentation. Companies are spending so much money in sponsoring conferences. Paystack pays so much money for DevFest. Most of DevFest in Lagos and most DevFest around the world, they pay companies to also sponsor. Once they sponsor, they send someone to come and speak and demo something for developers. They usually send a marketing person or a developer advocate or someone who understands the product and can talk and convince developers to try the product. So if you are a development marketing manager, you have to learn how to stand in front of people and talk. Public speaking, you have to know how to do that. That is why you see the many people in Dev and DevMart are traveling, they're going to conference, they're speaking in workshops, they're creating YouTube videos. It's part of the role, part of the job to create awareness to developers, and they find you. If they don't find your article to read, you can find your video on YouTube to watch or something else, but you have to be everywhere for developers to find you. And the second skill is how to speak well and present well, either workshops, talks, whatever. Very important skill to do that. The third is community management. Why this may not be a really 80% of value, you need to know how to do community management. Now, community is also part of marketing. You're not unlike DevRel, where you have to manage the community relationship and grow it, but your own case for community management as a developer marketing manager is to spark awareness within a community, either your community or other communities, about your products. This is where things like hosting Twitter Space for the community, hosting webinars for the community, hosting things for the community, hackathon for the community, to engage the community about the product comes into play. So if there is a community manager already existing, a development marketing person works together with the person to engage the community on this, aware about the new product, a new tool, a new feature, and how they can use it going forward. Now, similar to that is program management. Programs, project programs, marketing campaigns are programs. Unlike B2C, where most of them basically is an idea in the head, we want to launch this product, we'll do small sales copy, we'll do video, we'll do flyer, we'll go on Facebook ads, put the keywords, we'll launch, all of those things. It's not like that. It's not like that for developers. Where you find developers is where you market to them. And where you find them are inside community groups, conferences, hackathons, blog. You find them in these places, and your marketing campaign needs to be programmed like to target these people where they are, events. So in events, either you are the one hosting the event for them to come, you're going to meet them in another event by sponsoring or speaking. Hackathons too are a way to increase adoption. So for a company's growth, not really growth, but the process like this: awareness, adoption, and growth. Growth is where we have things like advocacy. A new product is launched, our focus is awareness. This is here, I'll come and sign up, or come and use it to you do awareness, you go speak here, article, you're trying to see people to sign up. When that phase is gone, the next step is adoption. We have 10,000 people who signed up to use the tool where we did awareness. How can we let these technical people continue to use the products? How can they use the product? Can they launch API? Can they build things on our platform or product or service at all? That's where adoption comes in. And adoption, that's where hackathons are a very key element when it comes to adoption. Any company or development marketing manager who is in the adoption phase and doesn't do hackathons, well, unless there's a strong reason why, but it's a no-brainer, unless the product doesn't support hackathons, right? Because there are developer services and developer tools. So if you're marketing for a company that's offering developer tools, hackathons are very important. Now, when we're done with hackathon, we're going to growth. Growth is now where advocacy, ambassadorship comes in, and they're all different phases in that regard. So summary, you need to know how to manage programs, event, conferences, hackathons. They are all marketing efforts for any development marketing department or a development marketing manager. The fifth is technical skills. Why it is bolded is because there is a controversial conversation where they say, before you become a development marketing manager, you must know how to code, or you must come from a coding background before. You must be a former developer before you do this, or you must plan to be a coder. So there's different things, right? You don't necessarily need to know how to code. You just need to understand how the technical space works. You could do a crash course, right? Because there are different tools for developers. Not all of them involve coding. For example, I'm looking for a tool off my head now. Yes, example. So there is this platform, a platform that allows companies or developers register for hackathons and participate in hackathons and get rewarded. It's a platform of hackathons for developers. It's not coding. It's more like a program for developers platform. So we need a development marketing manager to market that platform to developers. No coding involved. Just understand why developers want to hack, what kind of hacking they want to do, and convince them to come and hack on your platform. Simple. It's like that. So no coding is involved. Or you want to market a drag and drop tool that simplifies and raises coding skill. An example is if developers used to code smart contract for blockchain, but now there's a platform like a drag and drop for smart contracts, you can market it. You don't need to know how to write contract code, but understand how blockchain works so you can convince them. Because if you're going to be on a conference platform to speak, you need to speak their language. So that will require research to learn, but have technical skills. Doesn't mean you have to be a coder. Just understand how the product you're marketing works and talk to them to use the product, and you'll be fine. Even if you're already coming from a coding background, fantastic, you have no problem at all. But if you're coming from a non-coding background, two options. Either choose a product that doesn't involve coding, or choose a product that requires little coding and learn how to do, not really coding, but learn how it works and talk to developers in their language, and you'll be fine. The last is selling without selling is a skill. Developers, they say developers hate selling. Nobody actually likes being sold to. They don't like all those things. But developers hate it more. They're more likely to embrace you when you're coming to them with educational, when you're coming to educational wise, like when you're trying to help them build, like coding and building. So if you're coming in that angle, you can sell them without selling. But if you're already coming to say, try API, use this one, use that one, they'll not actually have. So you have to learn how to sell without selling. It's a very important skill. And lastly, developer support or technical support is a skill. All of these 7 things are different skills that are needed to be an effective developer marketing manager. Very, very important thing to take into look at. Some people have number 1, they can write well, but they can't speak well. They can't do community management, they can't program, they can't really be, can just be the technical writer, that's okay for them, but you can't actually be a development marketing manager because you're managing the entire process and should allowing them to engage developers and convert them to the company's product. Lastly is about career options for developer marketing. So you have decided to be a developer marketing manager and you want to try developer marketing, you want to become a developer marketer. What are the options, career options for you? These are a whole lot of career options that you can try. Now, the first is customer traditional role. You can become a proper developer marketing manager. That's it. But you can also decide to just be a technical writer. There are content engineers, there are documentation engineers, all fall under technical writing and all spamming through marketing efforts to create awareness. You can decide to be a sales engineer. Now, Microsoft has, last year, they had so many openings for sales engineer across Latino regions. That's like, what country is Latino? Is it North America? But yeah, Latino regions had so many openings for sales engineer. Even Nigeria had opening for sales engineer as well. It's contract-based, but sales engineers are very important there. Now, I have to put this B to B to C. Remember that when you sell to customers, it's B2C. When you take products to businesses, B2B. But when you take product developers, is B2D. Now, what if you take a product, a developer product to businesses? Businesses are the developers, and in the business are developers is now B to B to D. You're marketing to a technical audience who are developers. So your role, if you're already in a development marketing manager as in a company, and your company pivots to selling technical products to now technical companies and tech companies, your role can easily change from development marketing to becoming a sales engineer. So in other words, you are going to conferences, you're holding workshops, you're writing articles, not for developers, but for developers in a business, a tech company that has developers. It could be engineering department, it could be CTOs, it could be engineering managers, leaders in the company, marketing, that's sales engineer. That's also a career option for you if you want to go that route. Now we have marketing engineers, similar to that, but this time around, marketing engineers are a little bit more technical, but they're also marketing technical products to technical audience at the same time. Developer relations manager, which is DevRel. You're managing the awareness, adoption, advocacy, the relationship, the community. That's you all together. That's fine as well. And you can also be a DevRel manager for awareness. Now, to become a DevRel manager, you need high technical skills. No, sorry, a DevRel engineer. You need technical skills, you know how to code. We can't escape. You can escape it in dev marketing, but in DevRel engineer, you can't escape it. But you can escape knowing how to code and being technical if you are focused on awareness. Awareness means we need 10,000 developers to sign up on our new products. You don't need so much to be a coder. You can easily convince them to sign it into them, leave it to other engineers to do demos and the workshops and do all of those things that are targeting developers, relationship with them one-on-one. But for awareness, you can survive and bring them in. That's why I just put awareness there. But if you're high technically, you don't have any problem with doing this. You can be awareness, adoption, advocacy, all around. That's okay for you. And lastly, you can also be a program manager, focus on outreach programs, hackathon manager, event manager, conference person, all of those things. That's you trying to reach programs that benefits developers. If you remember, in 2017, there's a guy called I forgot his name, Chimdu, right? It's not just, yeah, Chimdu, who was in Andela at the time. He is the one that's engineered, and the idea of ALC was from him, was from Chimdu. So it was a program to increase the developer acquisition, training of developers in Africa through ALC. That program lasted, even today I have ALCs, right? It lasted for over 5 years or 4 years. And that was it was a program manager at Andela who had a program to increase developer outreach for Andela by using Google and Udacity to promote developer educational program for developers who want to upskill, developers who are newbies who want to start careers. And that was how ALC was born, and it lasted for so many times and had over 100,000 people across Africa. That is what a program manager in development marketing and DevRel can do. So it mustn't actually be products, it could be services or educational material, educational product, educational programs. You can market developers and increase the outreach from there. So all of this are career options you can take if you are interested to become a development marketing manager. You can pick a niche. Picking a niche here means not just about the career role itself, but the technology you want to market, right? Because you know that the tech space is broad. Even the developer space too is broad, right? Sorry, hold on. So even developer tech space is also broad. We have Android, iOS, we have Linux, we have cybersecurity, we have security, we have blockchain. There are so many of them. So you can decide to focus on marketing blockchain product developers. That's okay. You can focus to market Android product developers who are doing Android. That's okay. You can focus to market to iOS developers. That's fine. So picking a niche is okay. Just find one. You can. The good thing about being a dev marketing manager is that you can actually decide to be everywhere. But for best options and career opportunities, always have like a focus and be a master in that area and proceed to them. Another good thing here is that you can work remotely. I mean, that's like everyone wants to work remotely these days. So being a dev marketing manager means you can work remotely, you can do documentation anywhere at all, working for companies in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, whatever you can work remotely, being a developer marketing manager. You can also relocate to work. So there's been so many cases where companies hire people in Nigeria to come over to become a developer advocate or developer manager or developer marketing or even technical content engineers for the companies. I personally know of 6 people who have moved in the past this year. They all moved this year to Netherlands, Ireland, and one to UK as their work visas, of course, just for them to come and be part of a dev department to market their products, internally product, and also external product as well. So there's opportunity as well. So the thing is that most people think that they only give you work visas, or what do you mean? Like you can only get jobs that have a location package for only those who code, engineers, but that's false, right? We have people who are also relocating with work who are not coders, and one of those is those in dev and development marketing space. You can choose to do contract-based work. What that means is you can choose to be a freelancer, right? You can choose to work 2 months, 3 months for a product, not full-time, pay hourly or pay in whatever payments method you choose. You can choose to work on contract base to promote the products across. Remember this? There was this crypto app that came to Nigeria, but they ran away because of the Nigerian problems. But it came. I think they spent like about 6 months or 1 year. Is it Pockets? Not Pockets. Is it Pockets? I think it's Pockets. I can't remember, but it sounds like no. Pocket is Piggyvest. It's not Pockets. I'm trying to remember their name. So they were from India, and there was this guy who used to stay in Enugu, but now he stays in Enugu, but now he's in University of Benin, UNIBEN, and he brought them to Nigeria, and so it was a contract based. So he was more like I won't call him development marketing, but it was more like a technical marketing manager for them in Nigeria. So he's going to any conference that's crypto, he's there with them in Lagos, in Enugu, in Abuja. He's there for that 6 months until they ran away. But that's an example of what contract-based work could be like, right? So like I said earlier, there are companies who are really looking to come to Africa. And if you can get those contracts to be their spokesman, to be their ambassador, to be the person who's going to be the forefront, to give them developer base in Nigeria, Africa, then that's fine. And you are the best people positioned to do that, actually those who are in the marketing space in DevRel, is now to target conferences, go there, and make everything make sense for them. Yeah, and lastly, of course, obviously, you can earn USD if you're doing the contract-based work or full-time in Nigeria. Not maybe Nigeria could be local currency, yeah, but a little bit high. And USD, of course, remote work or even location jobs as well. Development marketing is flexible, and that is what makes it one of the high-paying tech careers that doesn't require coding. It's flexible. You can do what you want to do. choose different career routes, and eventually be top of your game, while also bring impact to developers in different parts of the world as well. So how do you start your journey right now? So you've seen what development marketing looks like, what skills you need to acquire, the career prospect for those in development marketing. You've also seen the flexibility, how flexibilities, and the niche you can choose. So how do you get started? Well, there are different ways to do that. Then is that there is no proper structure or bootcamp or course online that takes you from point A to point B on how to become a developer marketing manager. You can buy books, but books are books, right? I mean, you need a lot more personalized guidance to do that, especially trying to navigate the market, getting jobs, what to do that, what write articles, what is the best tactics to do this or that. It goes beyond that, right? And that is why we have decided to launch the DevMar Manager Bootcamp. It lasts for 10 weeks, certification when it ends, and of course, career mentorship to hold your hand throughout the process until you're good enough to fly and begin to make biddings and, of course, land your first job as a development marketing manager in different capacity as you can. So once again, this is a very useful course. Like again, if you search online, you may not see there's no bootcamp online that talks about this. And difficult enough, a bootcamp or course that talks about developer relations. The only course on Udemy is just one that was launched months ago. You see that eventually, so career focus. So this is something you need to take a look at and take action as soon as possible to get into the space. There is a link on the screen they can use to take action as soon as possible, especially alpha for you because you are part of the webinar or you are seeing this video, then it means that you are eligible to receive the free special offer that this is offering to you right now. So we can't wait to get you started. And if you have any questions, you can always ask in the description to the email and of course the WhatsApp number that's going to be shared. It depends on where you're watching from, right? If you're going to watch the replay later, then the description on YouTube is where you're going to find the WhatsApp link to respond and reach out to us to help you get started. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you right in. You can always take a look at bcamp.com to get more updates and a blog on resources about development marketing and developer relations. I can't wait to get started with you on the journey, and I'll see you right in. Bye-bye.